it's super hot today, but whatever, I decided I was gonna make a video, so we are doing this. Hello my citizens of the world, I'm Yes or No, and we are currently walking to Central Park where it's a lot quieter than Times Square. First thing I wanted to say is I haven't posted anything in 2 weeks, and if you're like, we know why, we missed you so much. That's essentially just because I haven't been in the right mental headspace. I've been a little bit sad. And it's funny because last week I almost posted this video of myself with like puffy eyes. I just cried and I needed to get a video out on Sunday, and I was gonna post a video that said, hey, like, you know, remember to put your mental health first. But I thought, wow, like, isn't that ironic, right? At the very time when I need to focus on my mental health, I still feel some kind of pressure to upload something to social media. And that pressure, if we're being honest, is kind of this chugga churning economic system underlining everything, which is capitalism. Because I've noticed it's been this theme in the last like 5 years or so to say like, put your mental health first. But it's really like, do people actually believe that? Like, you can't. Like, what if putting your mental health first means that you need to take a whole year off of work, right? Some people can't afford to do that and still afford to feed themselves. So this phrase is at odds with the very system that we live in. I mean, think about that for a second. It's like really the only people who can benefit from that phrase, put your mental health first, are the people who have, you know, the money to do it. And so it's got me thinking a whole lot more about this idea of capitalist realism. I don't know if you guys have heard of this, but it's basically this idea that capitalism is not just the predominant economic system, but that people believe that no other economic system would work. More people can envision, you know, the end of humanity than can imagine the end of capitalism. I mean, think of it. That's what the idea of capitalist realism is. And I am so interested in this link between capitalist realism and mental health problems in America, right? Because so I was looking at these CDC numbers, and they said over 40% of Americans show signs of being either anxious or depressed right now. And when you think about that, it's like, that's a lot of people. That's like at a point where it's now a systemic problem, right? That's not an individual problem. And if you look at more research, they basically say the lower your socioeconomic status is, the more likely you are to have mental health problems. And so, you know, like correlation is not causation, but it's looking kind of strong. And so something that's been bugging me in terms of this whole argument or discussion is that everybody says, oh, you like need to go to therapy and you need to figure out your mental health if you're having problems. So it's like we're looking for this individualistic solution for a problem that's systemic. And honestly, this doesn't surprise me because we do this in so many areas as well when you think about it. Like, we do this with junk food and trying to get fit too, right? Like we pump this terrible food into our system, and then we tell people, like, if you're overweight, that you need to fix it on your own. You need to diet, you need to exercise, when it's like, this is really not an individual problem. And we do the same thing with sexism, right? So you have people saying like, oh, like women are this way, women are that way, and then when you're in the dating pool trying to look for like, you know, solid men and you can't find them, the onus is on you to become better at dating, right? So we do this in many realms, and obviously mental health and capitalism is just one of them. Okay, stop, pause, think. I need to gather my thoughts before I tell you more. And while this is kind of a terrible analogy, the image that I keep seeing in my head every time I think about this problem is I think of that monk from the Vietnam War who set himself on fire. And granted, this is unrelated, but this is the imagery that comes into my mind. It's almost like America has set us all on fire and then told us that to not feel the hurt, we have to learn how to control our minds, right? Where it's like, okay, that's true. We can be on fire and not feel hurt if we really learn how to master this thing. But it's also like, well, you know, don't set us on fire in the first place. I don't know, this is so obvious to me that sometimes it stresses me out that other people can't see it. And so this is something I think about a lot when I'm having mental health struggles and somebody says, put your mental health first. is like we don't really mean it, right? We don't provide a system where people actually can put their mental health first without feeling the pressure to need to show up for their work and show up for their jobs. So every time I think about trying to like solve these problems of stress in my life, I think of it as kind of like a two-pronged solution. Like, yes, first, I do need to learn how to control this thing, but it's like also second, it's like we should be looking to dismantle the very systems or reorganize, restructure the very systems that put this pressure on us in the first place. Like, we should have more, this stuff seems so obvious, I feel so dumb when I say it, but we should have more like social safety nets helping us out. And so I don't know, these were my thoughts on capitalist realism and mental health, and I guess I got through them before we ever got to Central Park. Okay, actually one more thought before I go home is I know I'm gonna have people who are basically saying like nothing should be one way or should be another way, and I agree, right? We are not owed anything in this world. I don't believe we have any inalienable rights. That being said, we do like to strive towards societies that are more fair, more awesome, and just like, yeah, more enjoyable for all of us. So this whole video is one of my inputs into something that is currently a problem and something that we could fix. And if anybody else resonates it, just keep the conversation going where you are. That's it. I'm Yes or No. If you would like to donate to my Patreon, please do so down below. And if you would like to go and watch more of my videos, that always feeds my soul. Love you guys. Bye.